So, welcome back, everybody. We are back for our Sunday series. Welcome back, Laura.
Thank you so much. Glad to be back after my long travels.
Yes, and it's great to be back into the series. I really missed it. It's some really good stuff coming up here. But before we get into that, we are going to be doing a giveaway in this video. This beautiful box by the one and only 3D Bronze was given to us after we ordered one of our own, and we decided we're going to give it away on the show. And if you stick around to the end, we have a bunch of good legal mumbo jumbo that we have to do, and also how to enter. So stick around to the end, and we will let you know how we're going to do this giveaway. So beautiful box, right? You've seen it when you came home.
It is really a gorgeous little box. Really fun. Yeah. I actually have ours sitting, or one of them sitting here in the office.
Yeah, it's really nice. So with that, we're going to jump into chapter 11. So chapter 11 is treasures from a famous shipwreck, the Temptress greed. Laura, do you want to read the quote on intro there?
I will read the quote, but fun fact, Temptress Greed is the name of an episode from American Greed.
Oh, wow. That's interesting.
Yeah. I think there's no connection, but I Googled it and came up with that. So today's quote is from Gandhi. The world is big enough to satisfy everyone's needs, but will always be too small to satisfy everyone's greed.
Ooh.
So, another random connection, which will not give us a clue to the hint. That's Mahatma Gandhi from India, where I just traveled to. So
nice. Very nice. See,
we were intended.
It was, what do they call that when it's not a coincidence, but it was, I don't know. I can't think.
Like serendipity.
Something like that.
All right. So,
yes.
You know, I thought this was an interesting chapter, and I think that Gandhi quote is chosen because John really does take the opportunity near the end of this chapter to reinforce how greed can be a driver for some really negative things, even taking risks that are, you know, not safe, and kind of reinforcing his desire for people to be smart and safe while searching for the treasure. So I was glad to see that. Like, I think that that's the right approach. You know, and it is a theme throughout this chapter.
Yeah, no, it is. I was pulling up that page of where it was at. I was going to talk about that later, but I really love the story, right? I read through this a couple times. Even the first time I read it, I was like, you know, that captain thought he was going to get away with this, and then the storm came, and they had to make a executive decision on what to do, and they end up losing it all, only to be in a treasure later on, a couple hundred years later, right?
Right. Yeah, it was a great story, and it sounds like they did recover some of the treasure immediately, just not the hidden part of the treasure.
Yeah.
Because there were some like legitimate, you know, valuable items that were being transported on the ship. And there were some that were hidden and weren't kind of per se on the manifest, weren't supposed to be on the ship. But yeah, I thought it was a very tragic and interesting tale from 1752, like a long time ago. So when I started reading the story, I thought, oh, I'm going to pull up the same story as reported somewhere else on the internet. So I came up with a place called shipstamps.co.uk. And there is a page that's specific to the shipwreck of this particular ship, which I will not pronounce in Spanish because I speak like no Spanish. I can say taco, right? That's about it. So, but we'll call it Lady of the Light because that's the English translation of the ship's name. And so I pulled up a parallel story outside of this one for the shipwreck of the Lady of the Light ship. And as is my custom, I think something that I always do when we're looking for a clue, and effective or not, this is one of the things I was hoping to get out of John, but he was not falling for my tricky questions, is it's not uncommon for me to find something in a historic story that he's sharing where a detail is inaccurate. And is that a potential clue? So I did find a couple of things in here, two names in particular, that didn't match between his version of the story and the version of the story that I found.
Yeah. Well, he did say he didn't intentionally he said didn't intentionally misspell or anything. So it probably
it's true.
Yeah.
But I don't know that this is even perhaps it's a misspelling, but let's talk about one. It's a little bit further along, but we know that eventually this sunken ship was discovered. In 1993, the shipwreck was discovered by a team of divers led by treasure hunter. So in John's book, it says Reuben Corella, Corella, and it actually is Reuben Collado, Collado.
Interesting.
Yeah, so they both start with C, but basically a totally different last name.
Yeah.
And that was found in April 1992, and he says in 1993 the ship was found. So a couple of discrepancies there about the finding of the ship.
Yeah.
So, the question is that intentional? Does he hide clues in those details? Several times throughout the book, he's encouraged us, if we're interested, to get into the details and research things outside of the book. So, in my mind, then there's value in doing that. Maybe it's just the intrinsic value of knowledge and learning, but perhaps it's not. Do you have any thoughts on that?
Yeah, he said there's multiple ways or multiple different types of clues, right? I think he referenced the they're in pictures or in the history of the items or the items themselves. And then when he said, in response to your question, do we need to go outside of the book to get a little better reference? He said there's so many things in this book. He's, not to go down every rabbit hole, right?
Right.
I personally don't think that by him having something that wasn't accurate is going to be a clue, because I think there's a couple things or a couple times I've seen him talk about that, and it could just been me, and I'm not trying to say this is what he was doing, but he seemed a little frustrated that there were inaccuracies in there, and maybe when they were doing their research, I don't know. And this is my own opinion, is maybe that there was some oversight, maybe they overlooked some detail or put the wrong detail in there, didn't catch it in the editing, and to go back and change that, it would be really change the dynamic of the book or something. But I wouldn't have caught that, just because that's not the avenue I would have went. But there's, I'm sure, many people. I think I've gotten emails from people, correcting some things on there as well. So, in the past. So, is it a clue? I don't think that would be, because there's so many other things in here, I doubt he would only say, okay, you're not going to get the clue to chapter 11 unless you do research on this guy that found this thing And when you find out this first name is correct, however, his last name, although starts with the same letter, if you keep going down, it's not going to be the same name. Thus, here's our clue. So
Right.
that's not the way I look at it.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's worthy of dialogue because there are a number of these what I consider to be inaccuracies within the book, and the question about whether they're strategic or not. I don't feel like I have a solid yes or no, but certainly he did not seem to reinforce that those were potential clues when I was trying to go down that path of questioning. The other one that I found within the book is the captain of the ship. He says that his first name is Felicia, which we think of as being a woman's name. So that made me want to search it. And in the account that I read, it was Felico, Felico. So again, similar but different. That one I kind of chalked up to the fact that it could have been like an autocorrect situation.
Yeah.
Because Felico is not an American name or, an English name, and it could have autocorrected it to Felicia. But nonetheless, another inaccuracy that I found.
Yeah. It's funny because he said that all of the stuff, everything's been corrected. I should have checked my ebook. If you could tell me what page it's on, because usually the ebook's up to date. I have it open right here. So if you could tell me what page it's on, I'll look. Because he did say the books are up to date, but there's some still out in circulation that are the older ones. So he doesn't know how they are put out, what order.
Right. So it's actually in the second sentence of the chapter. So line 2 of page 102. Captain Felicia de Fonseca.
Felicio. Yeah, Felicio is in the ebook.
Oh, okay. So it was a typo in the version that we have.
Yeah, so that's why I like having the ebook.
Yeah, interesting. Well, will you check while we're doing this?
Yeah. Now, for the viewers, the lion's share ebook, at least on Apple Books, isn't no longer on there. Only the 4 and the part 2. Fortunately, I was able to grab this early on. I grabbed the lion's share ebook from Apple Books. Now this is only Apple Books, and then the other 4 boxes. So,
all right. So page 106, the third paragraph down. Ruben Corella, Corella.
Corella.
Okay, so that is not the correct name.
Okay,
it is Collado, Collado, and he found it in April of 1992, not 1993, like it says in the book.
Interesting. Yeah. So there you have it. We got one out of 2. That ain't bad.
Yeah. So interesting, helpful, hard to say. But those were a couple of the things that stood out to me in the chapter. The next thing I thought it might be great to talk about, if we're going back to the beginning of the chapter, is that beautiful image of the pirate ship.
Yeah.
Of the sailing ship, the cargo ship.
Yeah, let me get this off here and put it up. Yeah, so we got the ship and the compass, and we'll talk about that compass. But that picture, there's a lot going on this picture, and I was like, man, is this the time I'm going to be getting my clues from pictures, or am I going to get some from somewhere else? Because there's going through these in the book and any of the chapters, it's really hard to discern what would be a clue or not, because you sort of have this Rorschach test, right? Like not everybody's going to see the same thing. And it's sort of the same issue we had with a map on Appalachian Trail. But what did you have to say about the picture?
Well, I think there are 3 things that are worthy of dialogue. And there's probably more, but the first thing, of course, being the compass. The compass is very prominent on the page. And if you look quite closely at the compass, there are letters and some numbers kind of strewn about the page. And some of them are quite difficult to read. Some are a little more clear. And so I'd love to have some dialogue about the potential for what those letters and or numbers could mean.
Well, you're in luck because I did my homework.
Yay.
I found a lot of information on compasses in general, and I'll put the link in the description to the actual document that I saw, but I'll share this. So there's for the north signs for north on a compass rose. So these letters here will say, it says wind roses and compass roses usually have 8 cardinal or ordinal wind directions. So you have, and you know, you can read these yourself for the viewers, but you have what T, L, O, P, and all these other ones, what they stand for. So I thought when I first saw this picture, I was like, man, I got to figure out what all these letters, maybe they spell something, and I don't know, maybe they still might, but they do have meaning behind them. They weren't just, you know, randomly put in the letters. Now, there's symbols and stuff on there too, which I haven't found. But if you go to the link for this document, it also tells you like how many points on the compass, or the rose, how many rose points, I think it is. What type of compass it is and things like that. But super helpful overall in knowing what those mean. But yeah, this was interesting because at least it brought some definition to it for me. It put me a little bit more at ease when I saw it, you know.
So I think that that's compelling. I did just Google compass roses and had a couple of things come up that, you know, resemble certainly the compass that's in the book. One in particular, I'll have to share with you. But on that one, it does use our typical abbreviations for north, south, east, and west, but there are a number here. So I'll take a look through those. You know, one thing that stood out to me in your research there is I do see letters that aren't included in your list.
Yeah, there are.
So yeah, so some of the letters that stood out to me, NP, a couple of N's. Of course, you would expect to find that on a compass. NP, K, F, X, SON, P388, another N, but in mirror image.
Yeah.
VEWLD. So, you know, I can't help but want to start to play around with these letters and see if I can make some words. Like I see wild, but I don't have an I, but there could be an I in there somewhere. The SON is often at the end of a last name or a place name. So that stood out to me. So I think that your explanation about these could be abbreviations that are commonly used on a compass is very valid and legitimate, but I also think that there's potential that he could have hidden some clues within these.
Oh, sure. Yeah. I mean, you know, having what was already there, it could be because those are directional, right? And then you put that in line with the other letters and even the symbols. So if you look in the 12 o'clock and the 6 o'clock position, you have these little shadowy looking things in the circle. And on the 3 o'clock and the 9 o'clock position, you have smaller ones as well. And then you have all the, I don't think the stains on it really, at least they don't initially, maybe on the bigger picture would play a role. But, you know, if you look at the water and the waves, they could even look like little mountains and stuff. And we've seen this before,
Oh,
in
that's
some of
true.
the pictures. And I just saw it not too long ago. It looked to me like different mountains and stuff. And if you look around the edges and there's things and then there's some more darkened parts that are supposed to look weathered. Like I said, your interpretation of a lot of these could really get the best of you. I just don't know where, because if you even zoom in more on the picture, the little fragments around the ship, it sort of appears like the ship is like falling apart, and you have all these fragments coming off of different things. If we look at the front of the ship, there's a
Right.
little better idea of that. Now what to do with it, I don't know. And I think as we get more confident in our interpretations of pictures, because there are different types of pictures he puts in here, and as we go through the chapters, we'll start to be able to discern the different types and what could possibly be hidden in those ones. Maybe I'll have more meaning later on. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I agree. Like, I think there's way more to the imagery, particularly the ones that he created, than we've been able to fully dig into. I personally, if you can put the big image back up,
Sure.
I personally do want to read into those watermarks.
Yeah.
So and I alluded to this back when we were talking about chapter 5. I feel like I have a potential solve that I am yet unwilling to share.
Sure.
But in my location, there are a number of rivers and a number of lakes. And so when I saw the outline of these watermarks, the first thing I did was go to both the AllTrails map and the Google map of my location to try to quickly spot to see, do any of these outlines follow the trail path, the path of the rivers, or the outline of the lakes?
Yeah.
And so, it made me not want to fully discount those watermarks.
Yeah. Yeah. I didn't mean to say that they didn't mean anything, but,
Yeah.
you know, there's just so much going on this thing, right? And maybe there are
There
multiple,
is.
sort of like on the Appalachian Trail map, there's 3 different ways to solve it, right?
Yeah, that was such new info. Like,
Man. Yeah, we've been doing a lot of deep. I've gotten a lot of people, or I got Ohio Jones lined up for some more videos on that, and
oh, good.
we're ripping it apart a little bit. But
Yeah,
yeah, I mean,
you're
there's
doing a great job on that. Yeah. Yeah, the 3 ways to solve. So yeah, there's potential a few different ways that we could find information within this chapter. But I do think your point about some of the kind of extraneous noise within the picture is compelling, like all the little fragments off the front
yeah,
of the ship. And then out the back, it almost looks like smoke or
yeah,
yeah, I guess I read that
maybe
as
a
smoke.
cannon went off and it's on fire or something,
Right.
or it got hit by a lightning or something like. And it could be interpreted many ways. And you got
Right.
some birds flying around, so
Yeah.
a little chaos going on there. That's how I interpret
Yeah.
the painting.
Yeah, for
Um,
sure. For sure. So interesting that this ship, the actual, real ship is depicted on currency for Peru.
oh, really?
On some sort of paper currency.
Oh, that's cool.
And so yeah, I thought that was interesting. Um it does not It is not an identical one for one of what this ship looks like. It's a very similar type of ship,
Yeah,
but it's not like, oh, for sure they used this. He saw that as the source and made this ship. Um, it's just the same kind of style of, I don't
yeah.
know. what do they call those, Spanish galleon? Am I remembering that correctly?
Sounds familiar.
That's a way random thing from like probably 5th grade. I don't know.
Right. There's well, I'm going to ask you this right now. We're at getting close to the time. We haven't even gotten to the pictures, and we haven't even gotten to the some of the text as well. Did you want to make this a 2-parter? Come back to it since there's a lot to look at it.
I guess potentially we could talk a bit more about it, although I don't know that I had much more on my list. It sounds like you did.
Well, okay. Why don't we do this? We could finish out this one because we won't have enough for a second one. What I did want to point out, and this is what you said before earlier, is how John sort of tells us to go to the postscript on writing and safety. Do you have that in front of you? Sort of strain in my eyes looking at my computer screen.
Yeah. So top of page 108.
Yeah. It's like the first full paragraph.
Yeah. Were you wanting me to read that, or you just?
I could do it. I got it right here. So he says, to ensure your hunting is safe and joyous, I compiled a summary of best practices to follow if you want to look for a treasure. You can find these details in the postscript of the book. It's a must read. My goal is to keep you in good spirits, find health, and far away from misfortune of any kind. He said there are more nuances to greed than this chapter can time to delve in. So, what I thought was important on this, and yeah, it's obvious. It's important to him to let everybody know not to get hurt, so it doesn't reflect badly on the hunt. Man, I gotta get these new drapes in this room. I got sunlight coming through my screen here. But I think it's important because, for instance, when we were going boots on the ground, and I decided to go out into the jungle per se, I had that back in my mind as a thought when determining, should I continue to go over here? Should I go over here? I was in the Poconos and walked out there, and I was like, there's no way. There's like a 800-foot drop off over here. Don't go walking too close to that, right? He's not going to hide anything over here. So that, to me, I should have listened more when I did Tarzan, or when we went and grabbed that vine. But as we go out on boots on the ground, and this is why it's really important to do your boots on the ground, even though it may not be where a solid solve is. This is going to tell you where the places are, not where exactly, but where to kind of look at, where to look for. Because he had mentioned that one of the boxes, when you find it, and I think it was even the lion share maybe, that you would be surprised how easy it was to find, or something to that effect.
I hate when he says stuff like that.
I know.
It makes me like want to be out there and looking like
that. So I think that's an important point in here. I'm not saying that's the sole point you get out of it. Right. But I'm not saying it is or isn't, but it is something to worth on there. And I wanted just to really quick show these treasure things. So I don't know if these are original stamps on it, if because they're room.
It is.
Numerals. Okay.
Yeah. So I did find the auction house that had these listed for sale, likely when he bought them. And so I kind of combed through and looked at them. So on the first page 105, where it has front and back of one, and that second page 107, front and back of the other, I did not find, it was a quick look, but I didn't find any discrepancies. For sure, those things that are kind of engraved or marked on them are,
you can see like little barnacles and stuff on there too. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that is very cool.
And these are really beautiful. I mean, imagine having one of these. It's like this thing was, I mean, the historical value alone, never mind the fact it's like gold, right?
Yeah. I know. I wish I could see it like in someone's hand, like the
I know.
scale.
And then you have this also, this coin
Yes.
on there.
Yes.
So really cool. This is gonna drive me nuts if anyway, I'll go off on a deep end here. Like, I just get so excited when I see these treasure items, and I have to reel myself back in and say, hey, look, chill, it's okay, we'll find it.
Right.
Or if somebody else finds it, that's okay too. You just I get really excited about it. So that's really what we have. But like we promised, we're giving away this treasure box, this 3D printed, beautiful Forest Fen replica. It's scaled down. I believe it's about 3" by 3" by 3", so 3" cubed. The lid comes off straight up. It's not hinged. It's been painted and weathered, make it look like it. I think this is one of the best examples. I mean, anybody probably 3D print something, but then to go that extra mile, then weather it and make it look like a treasure box, it's beautiful. And we'll leave a link to the website, because apparently he's going to make all of the boxes eventually.
Oh, that's cool. I didn't know that.
I'll just let you know now, Laura, that I told him I'd buy all of them when they come out. So we can do that budget next year. We'll set aside, but it's wonderful. So that being said, I'm going to let you know how to do this. So I got a little slide thing, and part, apologize for it being long and dry and boring, but this is how we have to do it. So this is the video, the official video that you're going to enter with on here to win it. So, official giveaway rules and disclaimer: no purchase necessary, void where prohibited. This giveaway is not sponsored, endorsed, administered by, or associated with YouTube or There's Treasure Inside by John Collins Black. By participating, you agree to release YouTube from any and all liability related to this giveaway. So this giveaway is hosted solely by One Clue Short of a Treasure, our YouTube channel. Although the prize item was generously provided to our channel by 3D Bronze, 3D Bronze is not a sponsor, administrator, or affiliate of this giveaway. We are giving credit for his contribution without implying partnership or sponsorship per YouTube policy. Eligibility. To enter, you must be 18 years of age or older at the time of entry, live in a region where giveaways of this type are legally permitted, be in compliance with all local laws and YouTube community guidelines, and a link will be in the description along with this whole disclaimer. How to enter. So this is the important part. To enter this giveaway, leave one comment on the official giveaway video, which is this. So on this one, you'll leave a comment containing the word box, B-O-X. It could be all caps. It could be all low caps. It could be toggle caps. It doesn't matter. All it has to say is box. If you put Fox, it will not pick it up, because we're using a random picker generator to do this to make it fair. So leave one comment, only one. It will pick. If you do multiple ones, it will not increase your odds of winning whatsoever. Put the word box. Only one comment per person is eligible. Multiple comments do not increase chances. Entries are counted only from comments made during the official entry window. So this is a second important part. The entry period opens the exact moment this video is published. So once this video is published, and there'll be a timestamp on it when it is published, it starts the entry window. The entry period then closes 72 hours after the published time. So between the time the video drops and 72 hours later is going to be when we're going to pick the entrance. Any comments submitted before or after the 72-hour window will not be eligible. Well, it can't be before, because it's not live. Winner selection. All right. After the 72-hour window closes, the winner will be chosen randomly using pickawinner.co. This is a third-party random comment selector. Only the eligible comments per person, only one eligible comment per person will be included in this drawing. The selected winner will be contacted via a reply to the winning comment or the method specified in the video. Winner response requirements. The winner has 72 hours from the time we contact them to reply. To claim the prize, the winner must respond by emailing us at contact@oneclueshortofatreasure.com. If the winner does not respond within 72 hours, we reserve the right to select a new winner. Prize details. So this is a 3D printed Forrest Fenn tribute box replica. It has no cash value. Prizes cannot be substituted, transferred, sold, or exchanged. The item was originally provided to our channel by 3D Bronze, and we are choosing to pass it on to our community. If you win, we will reply to your comment with instructions and provide the official contact email so you can send your emailing details privately. Do not post your addresses publicly. Your information will be used only to ship the prize and will not be stored, reused, or shared. We only collect the minimal information needed to deliver your prize, name and shipping address. Your information will not be stored after fulfillment, not be used for marketing, and not be shared with any third parties. Additional terms. Entries that violate YouTube's community guidelines will be disqualified. We reserve the right to modify or cancel the giveaway if required for fairness, security, or legal compliance. By entering, you acknowledge full acceptance of these rules. So,
Ta-da!
yes, that is what it takes to give a giveaway on YouTube.
Within compliance. Thank you.
Within compliance, yes. So that being said, you know, I will leave all that in the description so you don't have to memorize it, but it is on the video that you can pause and read over. What I will do is put a comment under the winner that's been picked, and that comment will be our email address, contact@oneclueshortofatreasure. And then, like I said, give us an email within 72 hours, and we'll ship it out as soon as we can. It should be after Thanksgiving or something like that, and then we'll just ship it out and get it out to you. So if there's any questions, leave them in comments, but follow the directions on there and you'll be fine. Do you have anything else to add, Laura?
No, I don't think so, but I'm glad to be back, and I'm looking forward to our next chapter next Sunday. And I guess also want to wish everyone a happy Thanksgiving.
Yes, have a very happy and blessed Thanksgiving. Enjoy your family. And we also have a great special dropping for Thanksgiving, but I'm not going to say anything. It will drop Thanksgiving Day. It's a very, very special episode. You don't want to miss that. And, you know, enjoy that time and make sure you catch up on some of the old Lion Share series. I'll put a link up there for that. And yeah, have a great one. And we will see you next time.
Bye, everyone.